Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. It's Fruitful Friday, 29th of May. And I I had a good laugh. Well, it was a laugh this morning when I looked at the post on Facebook with the inspiring quote of David Kavanagh. And I don't know, he's just seems to get into my head, and he anticipates what the next day is going to be. So it was interesting that he chose I'm certain that he reads my mind, because he chose a quote which was from Viktor Frankl. And in fact, he shared the inspiring quote this morning, and it fits just so well with today's video. And I've talked in the past, of course, about choices and about how you can only change yourself, you can't change anyone else. So the quote by Viktor Frankl is, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And of course, Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor and an Austrian psychologist and neurologist actually, and psychiatrist living in the 1900s. He died in 1997. So another quote by Dr. Frankl is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is your power to choose your response. So in your response, in your response lies your growth and your freedom. So that's another quote that's really fabulous. And thanks, Dave. Thank you very much for anticipating my mind, reading my mind. So to sum this up, really, what it means is that you and you alone are responsible for your thoughts and attitudes and your actions and the consequences. Viktor Frankl studied his fellow prisoners, and he discovered that those whose attitude was positive and they were hopeful, they survived the horrendous situation and the ordeal better than anyone else who took on this sort of victim mentality. So take a moment to think about a situation, no matter how good or how bad it is, even if it's something horrendous and traumatic, as being captured like Viktor Frankl was captured, humiliated, tortured. The truth is that you have a choice, even in these kind of circumstances. You have a choice about your thoughts, your attitudes, and how you respond to that situation. Now, I read and I reread Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, and I do recommend that you read this book. But even if you don't read it, just remember the two quotes above, and I'll say them again. When you are no longer able to change a situation, you are challenged to change yourself. Between attitudes and response, there is a space, and it's in that space is your power to choose your response, and in your response lies your growth and freedom. Very, very important quotes, and so apt for today, because I'll be going on to talk about kind of choices. So reflect on these quotes, and I hope and believe that you will view any situation and responsibility from a new and different perspective. Change is from the inside. So it's not about changing your house, your job, your location, because remember, as I've said before, wherever you go, you take yourself with you. So the change has got to be within. And if you don't make the change to how you respond to things, then you will remain a victim. Now, I've experienced some traumatic experiences, but I never wanted to be a victim. The only difference between my own thoughts and Viktor Frankl's is that I don't consider myself to be a survivor. I like to think of myself as enduring every moment of every day with resilience and courage. And with resilience and courage, I can endure every moment. Another book I found really interesting on the difference between surviving and enduring is Any Ordinary Day by Lee Sales, Leigh, Lee Sales, Sales. She's an Australian journalist, and she encountered and she spoke with many people who had experienced the worst moments of their life under the light of the media, under the glare of the media. And she herself experienced terrifying moments of her own mortality. So she learned about coping with life's unexpected blows. And she found I particularly liked her view on surviving. And she didn't think, as I do, I don't think surviving is necessarily the best word. In her book, I kind of resonated with her words. She said, survival implies an experience over which you have triumphed, and as if it's kind of in the past. And of course, when you experience something life-changing, then you don't survive that one event. You actually have to survive every other moment of every day. So what I liked about her is that, like, if you've lost a loved one like me, then you have to waken up every day knowing that you won't hear their voice again. So what you're doing is not surviving, you're enduring every day. Now, I can resonate with this, as I do not and will not give over, I won't get over the loss of my son. But what I do is that each moment of every day is different for me. And if you've got resilience and courage, you can endure every day. In fact, if you've experienced something traumatic, your resilience and courage will increase, and it increases these qualities within you. And life throws us just horrible situations, horrible blows, often when we least expect it. And but what you do have, and I was reminded that by some lovely people who've been watching and listening here, and I get private messages, and thanks to Barbara and Louise, thank you for watching. What you do have is your memories. So you lock these memories away, so in kind of your worst moments, you can bring these memories to the fore. Now, you cannot change what happened. I can't change what happened, but what I can change is how I view that situation. And I just pull on these memories that I've locked away and bring them out whenever I want or need, which can be every moment of every day. And choices, of course, choices means that you have to make decisions. And decisions are difficult because you don't know which one you know, what will be good, what will be bad. And another excellent book I came across was The Choice by Dr. Edith Eva Eger, Eger. She's 92 years old. She was a prisoner at Auschwitz, and her book is just amazing. And the strapline to her book was, "Even in hell, hope can flower." I just thought it was it's just stunning. So, choices. How do you make choices for yourself? Well, to be fruitful, you need to make choices. And thanks, Louise, a lovely comment there. And what I just want to quote Louise, it's lovely: survival or not had nothing to do with their attitude, their personal or emotional strength. Thank you very much, Louise. I mean, these things are just so important. And I think, yes, it doesn't need to be that situation, but people, no matter what traumatic situation they're in, it's very, very difficult. And you need to sort of choose how you're going to view that situation. So how do you make choices for yourself? Well, when it's a big decision, you really need to be in the right frame of mind. Making choices on your own can be really frightening. And you keep saying in your head, what if it's the wrong decision? So you start asking for advice, you're seeking approval. What am I going to do? But remember, at the end of the day, only you can make your own way in life. What you can do is to practice making smaller decisions. If you practice making smaller decisions on your own, then when it comes to something big, you'll be able to trust your own thoughts and actions. And if you do this, you will be able to make the bigger decisions on your own too. Now, to help you to understand what choices you have to make, this might kind of help, but there are certain things you've got to look at. You've got to self-reflect. This is knowing what you want, what your goals are, what your vision is, what you want out of life. And when you do this, you will make better choices. Now, no one knows better than me. I've made some drastic choices in life. But the other thing, you don't dwell on these. You have to say, well, what lesson did I learn from these? So if you don't know, of course, what you want, how can you make any decision? So look at what direction you want to take, whether it's in your personal life, in your job, in your career. And of course, there's some questions that you can ask yourself. You need to ask, well, how will it affect my life? Will it affect my life? Do I want to go in that particular direction? Well, if your answers are pointing to a decision that's maybe going to negatively impact your life, then maybe that's not the route you should take. But no matter what you decide and what happens, it's the lessons you have to learn. Remember, from your greatest challenge comes your greatest strength. And of course, it's okay to ask for advice. Even the best leaders ask for advice. But at the end of the day, although they take on that advice, because sometimes we need that objectivity. But when you ask for advice and counsel, at the end of the day, if you're a successful leader and good leader, the decision is yours. So you really need to make that decision. So you obviously asking advice, I would say you should ignore decisions on making decisions on your own. Don't just rely on other people. They may have their own agenda, of course. So if you are living your life, no one else understands your day-to-day, or what goes on behind closed doors. Nobody knows that. No one knows what you're going through. No one knows what your instinct is telling you. And again, successful leaders will only get the advice for objectivity, but at the end of the day, that's just advice, and a good leader will make the decision. And of course, I think there's a lot just now we're looking at who's a good leader, etc. That's maybe for another forum. The next thing is listen to your gut. Now, I think I've talked about this before, listening to your instinct. You might not realise it, but you know better than anyone else what your gut's telling you. The problem is that we often ignore our instinct because you might want to, you kind of don't want to face the realities of the decision you're going to make. You need to have a clear head when you're making a decision. You need to look at absolutely everything as objectively as possible. Now, you can do this if you write down all your thoughts, all your feelings about the situation, all the circumstances surrounding it. And it's like having a conversation with yourself. That's what kind of self-reflection is. So you do this again and again until you have all the facts and everything you need so that you have a clear mind and clarity to make a decision. And of course, don't make decisions when you're angry or in a bad mood. Don't make decisions when you're sleepy, when you're hungry, when you're stressed. Remember what I've said over lots of things is that I'm looking at some of the comments here because I'm getting a bit distracted. I can answer you later, Louise, because he talked to Louise is more or less saying, how could Frankel determine the resilience otherwise? Well, actually, he did speak to him. He was in the camps and spoke to people, made copious notes, and it was really his research. Very, very difficult, but even on my experience, I know that of the thousands I've spoken to over the years, the people who cope better are the ones who have hope and positivity. And out of that, everybody's got resilience and courage. Whether they use it or not is a different thing. And if you're going through a traumatic event, then it actually increases your resilience. You learn to build on that resilience and courage. Very difficult thing to do. But in fact, only you know yourself how you react to things. And I would never want to experience that Frankel experienced. But obviously we know. Excuse me, I'm going to have to stop this. I've got somebody at the door. Oh dear. Right, sorry, that was a delivery. But thanks very much, Louise. Sorry for the interrupting there. I was expecting something, so there we are. I thought we were going to deliver later. It's a huge topic, right enough, and it's very much, there's lots of psychology research, psychiatric research and neurology research on this, so you can look at that yourself or get his book, The Man's Search for Meaning, or even Edith Eger, a 92-year-old who's, it was just a fabulous book on the choice. Anyway, back to sort of life-changing decisions. We make decisions every day. There's lots of decisions that we have to make. But on life-changing decisions, what you should ask yourself, some questions if they're really life-changing, is what are the long-term implications of your decision? Will you regret it in the future? What will happen if you don't make the decision? Will I have missed opportunities? What will I lose? What will I gain? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of success? Am I afraid of failure? And I can resonate with the one with sort of success, because sometimes you're really worried about the what ifs. I mean, it's crazy, but it happens. What's your gut telling you? And don't let others put you off just because you're maybe not taking the conventional route to something. You can ask yourself if this is something you really want and listen to your heart. What's your end goal? What's your vision? Have your aspiration board or your vision board. And who are you doing this for? Is it for the family? Is it for friends? Is it to see the world? You need to have clear goals and vision, because say you're deciding to buy a house but you really want to travel the world, well, you're maybe going to be held back. Lots of other decisions being made. If you've got the house, do we rent it out, or should I do this? So you might not be able to fulfill one goal because you've chosen maybe another. But who are you making the decision for? Now, you obviously have to take into account the needs and desires and of others, but don't take a balanced view. Don't take others' desires and needs ahead of your own. But you've got to, we know we've been saying throughout, sort of, to be kind. So it's tough decisions that you have to make when you're with family, or you're with a partner, or you're with others. How will you feel after you've made that decision? If you please others or ignore others, you might end up not liking yourself. So you need to really consider how you will feel about yourself after you've made a tough decision, or when you're about to make a tough decision. Will you cope with the consequences of your decision? You need to consider the decisions that follow. So when you make one decision, there's lots of others that follow. So in other words, you can make a particular life-changing decision, but it leads to other decisions which can affect your life. And that can be the money, relationships, friendships, career. So you need to think about all these things and think things through and ask yourself whether you will be able to cope with the consequences of each decision, really. Trust yourself. Difficult one to do if you've actually had somebody who's maybe betrayed you. You start doubting yourself. But to trust yourself, what you can do is, when you're kind, if you be kind to yourself, that actually increases your self-trust and it increases your self-confidence. And of course, you connect more deeply with others then. When you have confidence in yourself, you feel better about making decisions, whether they're small or life-changing. And of course, as I said earlier, practice. If you practice making the decisions every single day on your own, just without seeking approval from others, whether it's buying that dress, going to the shops, whatever, it will increase your self-confidence and improve your decision-making skills. So lots to think about there, and I've certainly raised some things in people's minds there, and thank you very much for your comments. Lots of things to talk about among yourselves, or private message me. And I don't usually get embroiled in very sort of emotive things, I suppose. I've done it before on social media, maybe answered and given my opinion, and it's maybe not the opinion of others. And the problem with social media is that It just lets people they think they've got this right to just say whatever they want on it, and then you get people sniping and making their own opinions. So I think, don't get embroiled in that. If you have anything to say, then you try and say it as constructively as possible. Thank you, Sean. Thanks very much. So as always, we should, of course, still be continuing to thank, particularly maybe with the ease of the lockdown, which is happening all around the country, that we now have to thank all the workers, everybody who's been helping us in saving lives, and from lorry drivers, bus drivers, frontline workers, cleaners, so many people. And they will be continuing to do their jobs, and hopefully they will be getting the support that they will need, the emotional and psychological support, because this will have impacted on their lives tremendously, and there will be a lot of people requiring that. Thank you very much, Sean. Too many keyboard warriors, it's true. Anyway, we always finish with the affirmation, we thank you, and then we have to think of ourselves. I make the right choices. It can be any affirmation for you, your 3 Ps, your personal, your positive, and present or past tense. So I am calm, I am positive. I have to do this because when I get sort of worked up and trying to respond live, it's, I've got to kind of keep myself calm. So I do my red door, blue door. And I've got to kind of deep breathing here. So, and the other thing I've noticed is that the most I've had traumas in my life, but the most traumatic was the loss of my son. And I did think, before this happened, I thought, what would I do if I ever lost a child? Ever had something so traumatic as that? And the interesting thing was, it happened to me. And, my whole life changed. Because I decided, at one point I thought, I can't live without him. I don't know what to do. And then I thought, you need to kind of butt yourself up here. What is it? You cannot bring him back. So I have written a book, and it's about to be published, and it's called Resilience and Courage, the Key to Endurance. And you all have resilience and courage, and you need to build on that. So I've got my book as well on my son. That's The Weight of Emptiness, and it's comfort and hope for the loss of a loved one. And I do hope it brings comfort and hope. And what has brought me comfort and hope is all the people I've connected with, whether it's in my career or even through social media, through meeting people. I have connected with people I have never even met. And that's a really interesting thing for me. And you inspire me and motivate me, because that's what keeps people going. I think we do need that. And I hope to continue. There may be other traumas, no doubt. We have horrible things happen to us. It's happening to other people every day. So I do hope that I continue to build on my resilience and courage. And it's with the backup and the support of people like yourselves who are inspiring and motivating me. So the breathing and my techniques, my ABC, have got me through many situations. And if you've looked at my other videos when I've talked about my son, I could easily fall about sobbing. But I have techniques like my red door, blue door. I take a deep breath in. We need energy and calmness as well. And deep breathing brings that. It seems like the 2 sides of a coin, but the deep breathing really does calm you, but it also energizes you because you're bringing energy into your body. And thank you, Dave. Accept, endure, and focus. A lovely phrase to kind of end the video today before I go into my meditation. Now, I thought the golden path might be quite good, because if people are facing decisions, well, we face decisions every day, but this one's quite good to help you focus. And I've done it before, but I think we'll just do it again. And if you just feet on the ground again, keep grounded, and it's a beautiful day outside. So I don't know if Sean or Dave, or if you're managing to get outside, which is absolutely beautiful, then you can take kick your shoes off and put your feet on the ground. Just feel that grass, absolutely wonderful. I'm inside at the moment, but the The golden path, right. I want you to sit back straight, just to give you confidence. As soon as you pull your shoulders back, you feel confident. And then feet on the ground. And then take a deep breath in. A deep breath in through the nose. Close your eyes. Breathe in through the nose. The deep breathing, remember, from the tummy, blowing it up like a balloon. Hold and then exhale. And when you exhale, your tummy goes in like a balloon. It's deflating the balloon. So take another deep breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale. Now, while doing this, I want you to think of something that makes you feel happy. It makes you feel peaceful. Take yourself to somewhere which is calm, happy, and peaceful. Now take another deep breath in through your nose. Hold and then exhale. Imagine yourself becoming part of the earth and world around you. It's as if you're just becoming nature. Just let nature wash over you. Keep imagining this peaceful, happy place. And say to yourself, I feel calm. I am relaxed. I am energized. You feel as if you can touch the energy all around you. Now imagine there is a golden path in front of you. You start walking along the golden path. You come to a fork in the path. Now you pause. You think, which path? There is one to the right and there is one to the left. Now take a moment to think about each path. Are you drawn to one? Does it make you feel positive? Does it make you feel anxious? Which one? Now take another deep breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale. And using your affirmation, say to yourself, I am confident. I am enthusiastic. And I know whichever path I take is the right one for me. It's the one I need. This is the one that opens up opportunities for me. Now slowly walk forward with confidence. As you continue along your path, you feel more and more confident. And keep saying to yourself, I feel calm. I know that opportunities lie ahead for me. Enjoy this adventure. Now you can open your eyes and just say to yourself, I feel calm, I am confident, and I can embrace any opportunities that come towards me. And I'm so envious. There's Sean sitting in the garden. I'll be going soon. And thanks, Harry, for watching. So it's been fabulous having everybody watching, and I hope you've enjoyed today. I will post it up again, and of course all my videos are available on YouTube, my channel, and I post up a link there later. And I've enjoyed today. It's been quite taxing. A lot of things have brought back to me, obviously the loss of my son, and I didn't want to bring everybody down, but just to remember we all have memories, and please focus on the happy memories. And if you've experienced anything horrific and learnt from it, then you are resilient, you have courage. And thank you again for everybody for watching. You inspire me, you motivate me, and a virtual hug to everybody. And you can hug yourselves, of course, if you're still in lockdown. So a virtual hug and kisses to everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Now, I meant to say, this is my last one of my daily videos. At popular request, I did say I wanted to sort of reduce them as we come out of lockdown. So from Monday the 1st, the majority of people have asked if I could do them 3 times a week. So for June, I'll be doing them 3 times a week. And Monday, Wednesday and Friday, still at 10 o'clock. So I know some people will be back to work, but maybe you could steal a moment even if you're at work. But if you're working from home, I think what I've been on for like maybe half an hour, but even do my ABC. And thank you very much indeed. I'll be back on Monday. Bye.